Hi there people, if you've owned a phone the last 10 years or so, there's a good chance you've encountered Java. Now if you haven't, let me explain Java in a couple of words. So, it's a programming language that works on pretty much every device out there. So from phones to dishwashers even. But there's a good chance you also haven't heard of Ruby. Now no, I'm not talking about the precious stone thing, but I'm talking about the programming language. So, you know what? I want to explain both of them through an example. So the example will be the Fibonacci number calculator. So, you know, nothing too fancy, but I'll give me a good chance to, you know, explain exactly, you know, some things. So first of all, for Java, we'll create a new text document, and we'll just call it fib, because why not? And we'll give it the .java. There we go. Yes. And we open it up, and it's empty. So if I would compile it right now, the compiler would complain. So let's do that. Okay, let's do that very quickly, and we'll do Java C, which stands for compiler, and we'll do fib.java. And oh, it hasn't. Wow, that's weird. Okay, that's strange. Anyway, let's go back to here. Normally it would complain, but I think they've gotten smarter here. But anyway, we need to declare a class. So we do public class, of course, because that's what they're carrying, and we do brackets. Those curly brackets to indicate a scope, which means exactly what the class contains. And in those we need to declare a function, because, you know, that's what classes contain. So functions and classes and variables, sorry, functions and variables. And it's in here that we need to tell it exactly where it starts, so we go to the main function, which is the main thing of the program. So we declare it by public static void main. That's the main function. We tell it the arguments of string. We do those square brackets and do args, just, you know, because it could be anything. We use args for argument. So there we are. We're going to full screen this. I'm going to just set the font a bit larger because it's going to be for you better to see. So there we go. Now you can see it better. So in here now we have a main function. Now here normally is where you would start. Okay. So do that. What? I forgot to give it a name. That's stupid of me. Of course. Of course. Now you can see me in action. So this name has to be the same as the name of the file. And now it should be okay. If I would write the fine. There you go. Now it's meant if you run it with Java and just the fib, no anything after that, it's done nothing because the main function is empty. So now we can start doing our thing. So first of all, we're all going to ask, you know, how many Fibonacci numbers do we want, you know, to calculate. So we'll do that by using function called print, just like that, and we're gonna give it an argument, which is what we need to say. So how many numbers do you want, like that. And then we need to get an input, of course. Now to get an input we need a scanner. There is no direct way to get it, so we need to declare a new scanner. So we're going to make an object for the scanner. So there we go. Do that, we use the keyword new. And we tell it we want an input from system.in, which is the standard input, which is the keyboard in most cases. So, but you can't use the scanner directly, you need to import it, you know, because otherwise Java doesn't know where to look for this scanner. So to that, use the keyword import. You know, I think it speaks for itself. And you do java.scanner. There we go. And now we've used that, now we can compile it and see if it works. There we go, no errors. Now if you run it, where is it? There we go. How many numbers do you want? And that's it. Okay, because of course we haven't told it what our scanner needs to do. So before we can do that, we're gonna just say we're going to declare a variable, so int a is sc.next int. That's what we want. Okay, so now we're going to wait for us to input a number. You can see here how many numbers we want, and it waits for us in here, waits for us here, so we're going to say 10. And then it stops. Okay, so, but there's an issue. What if the user inputs, you know, a number that's too low for us? What if it inputs minus 27? You know, we're going to solve that by using a loop. And until what we want is met, we're going to just loop the same thing. So we're going to do while loop, which tells us to do, you know, until that's true. So I'm going to do while a is lower than 2, because I know that I will not go lower than 2. And we're not going to declare it. We need to declare it outside the loop. Because if you declare it inside the loop, the numbers will get lost as soon as you end its scope. So, you know, declare it here and here, right here, here when I'm writing, it would be lost. So we need to declare int a equals 0, just because, you know, it could be any number smaller than 2, but then just use 0, because why not? And just we're gonna do that, and now we're happy. Now until we input number smaller than 2, it's gonna just keep us. So if we do, let's say 1, and didn't go forward, so we can just 1 and 1, and let's say 0. Minus 27. Now if you do 5, it stops. Exactly what we want. So now we can actually continue. So we have, this should be indented a bit. There we go. So now we have, you know, getting the input and just asking the user, so that's great. Now we're going to go to actually calculating it. So we want to create an array, because the Fibonacci numbers are sort of recursively normally set, but that would be too expensive to implement. So we're going to do it using an array which is going to store all partial sums. So we're going to declare an array of longs, which is a 64-bit integer, which don't know what that means. You know, so you go longs and you go call it just fibs. Why not? And we need to say that it's a new array of longs, so array of longs, length of a. And let's say how long that array is, how big, essentially. You know, there, and that's that. Now, of course, we're going to fill it up and say the first is 1, you know, and the second item is not 41. That is 1 as well. So there we go. Now that's how you know, access the numbers in the values in the array. So just do the square brackets, and you know, that's it. So you can also see that this up here in the main function is also an array. So yeah, I've used it before you even, you know, knew what it is. There we go. So now we have our values, some 0 and 1, just because they're sort of our base values. Now we can go calculating it. So it would be stupid if we went like fibs 2. That'd be stupid. Let's just write out fibs 1 plus fibs 0. That would be stupid. Okay, but we need to sort of do that kind of thing, but you know, just make the computer do it itself. You know, fill those numbers, like this number, this, and this number, and this number. We need to fill that up by computer. So we're going to use a for loop. To do a for loop, you just say keyword for, and then we're going to tell him 3 things. Okay, 3 things. First of all, we need to declare a counter. So we're going to go int I equals 0. No, actually we're going to do 2. Very clever. Then the I is, you know, tells when it stops. So I is smaller than fibs dot length. There we go. So we need, I could do a, you know, but you know, we're going to just show you that you can ask the array what length it is, because for some reason you could change it here. You know, say, oh, I don't want a, I want 67. You know, and in that case the for loop would completely break. And then we need to just say it I++, because we want to increment I by 1 every time it goes through the loop. You know, when we go to brackets, we know these brackets from before. oh, this one's, and that we just do I, so it's gonna start with 2, so here's gonna be 2 is, and I'm gonna fill it with I minus 1, and the I minus 2, not, there we go, so it's gonna do 2 equals 1 plus 0, exactly what we wrote out. And that's going to just go through all the array and it's going to loop, 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 loop until it's finished. Which is exactly what we want. Okay, so of course now the numbers are calculated, you know, we're at this point. And now we need to print them out. To do that, I'm just going to be lazy and copy this 4. Because we need another 4. Nope, I want it here. There we go. But this time we're going to just go through 0. And go through all the numbers again. Now notice that I used the same I. Now remember what I said previously. Once you go through this scope, that I is lost forever. You don't have it anymore. You don't have to worry about it. You can get I here, here, up here. This could, you know, I's could be everywhere as long as they're not in the same scope. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to just say delete that. We don't need that anymore. We're going to print it out. Remember what the print command is? We visit out up here. That's our print command. So I'm just say system.out.print. I'm going to print this, but we're also going to do a little space. Now we can concatenate those lines by using the just simple plus. And there we go. I think that's pretty much it for our little program. And I'm going to go here, I'm going to compile it, so we're going to Java C, and we need to do fib.java, and it compiled, no errors, so we're going to do Java fib. How many numbers do you want? Let's say 10. There we go, now you can see it outputted 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and 55, which I believe are the first 10 numbers. So just, yep. Now though, we'll do the same thing, pretty much, but in Ruby. Now we're going to close this, we don't want that. You can see, create a file, .class. That's our compiler. We're going to do it, pretty much the same thing. We're going to call it fib, and we're going to give it .rb, because that's used for Ruby. And Ruby is cool because, let me just show you this, you have an interactive compiler, because the language is a script language, which means there is no compiler actually. It compiles on the go. You don't need to pre-compile the file. You know? Let's just show this. IRB. And just, oh, we use this, and I can just put that. Empty rows. Okay, and I can just do A equals 7, you know, and you print A, and you print A, you know. Just, yep, then it's so you can compile all the code, run all the code, so like line by line, if you want. So we're not going to do that. We're going to write the program out ourselves. So just for reference, this will go here, and that file will go here, just so you know what we're doing. We're going to reference this file. So first of all, we needed to print out how many numbers do we want. So we're going to do that by the exact same command, which is print. We're going to print out how many numbers do you want. Okay, that's the exact same thing. Now we need to get the input. Okay, now in Java you use the scanner. Here we will use gets, which to get the command, and then you will chomp so that it doesn't go to a new line. That's the command. Now we need to say what that is. I'm going to do RA equals get the chomp, but there are no types, as you've noticed. I don't do int a, or I don't do long a, or string a, or whatever. There are no types. Ruby decides, you know, on the go, like a is something, you know, just on the go, just think with this. And if you don't get the chomp, there is a great chance that what the user will input is a string. Now just it could put an a in there, or 67, you know, and just put x on the end, because, you know, you want to screw with the input as much as you want. So we're going to tell it by using integer. I'm going to put this in bracket. There you go. Now we have a equals integer dot get chomp. But notice here we have a while loop. So now what? We need to do that too. So we're going to do that by using just while. Okay, and notice there are no brackets. Now I don't do that. You know, and how do you know where to stop? You know, because it can run the command, the while loop forever, pretty much. You know, until the end of the program. Well, you have to know that there is a keyword end. You know, while is from here to here. That's it. And while a is smaller than 2. But remember, there is no a. So we're just going to declare it, just a equals 0. That's it. So I have exactly the same thing, and it should be able to run, as far as I know. Okay, we're gonna try it out. Okay, I'm gonna be bold and we're gonna try it out. We're gonna do that by using just Ruby, and we're gonna do fib.rb. Oh, I haven't saved the file. That would help. How many numbers do you want? 1. No, it loops 2. There we go, that's happy now. Wants 2 numbers. So we didn't do anything special up until this point, so you know what? We're here. And now we need to do the same thing. Just go away. There we go. Now this part is left. So we need to declare an array and just store some values in it. But remember how I said there are no types? That means that in an array, I'm going to call it fibs again, you can store anything. And do the equals, and you can here 1, and you can store in banana if you want, banana, and you can do true, you know, and you can do 0.78. It doesn't care pretty much what that number is. It could be anything, or actually any value is. But we're going to store 1 and 1, because that's what we did here. See, they didn't declare, oh, this is a long array, and they want to store it, how, you know. Also, I didn't declare how long it is. No, they just said 1, 1. See, because Ruby doesn't care. It just endlessly fills up until you run out of memory. Now you can just here, and you can say, you know, add some numbers in. I'm going to show you how you do that. But this part, for loop is easy. You know, there is no, so I'm going to do 4, and in this I'm going to do just x, because why not? And I'm going to say 2 dots a. That means, can't just explain it, you have for loop, so say for how many times, and x is just the same as I here, so just a variable, and the in, which means for how long pretty much, 2 to a, okay, and it automatically increments by 1. So that's how many long. Also I could do, Ruby has this cool thing, which is just, I'm going to say 8 times, you know, 8 times, and then you can use this, or you can use do and end. But pretty much you can do that, and you can say 8 times, and just print banana. And I'll do a, will have my numbers, now let's say 500 times, you know, and you print banana and print it out. So I'll just show you that, because that's, oh, I'm going to go here. Okay, I'm going to go IRB, just show you this cool feature. So I'd say 3 times, and I'll do that, and I'll say puts banana. See, it does it 3 times. So I don't need to write a for loop. Okay? But I am just terminate that. But I am going to use for loop because I have these 2 here, which is kind of ruining me. So I'm going to do that also because I need to show how a for loop is structured. Do for, and we need to do that thing, which means I need to store fib. And fibs we're going to add. There we go. You can just use the shovel here, as it's called, and just add it. And automatically add whatever is in here. In here it will add it to the end of the array. So we're going to say fibs x minus 1, and we're going to plus fibs and that x minus 2. And we'll do exactly the same thing, and that's all you need to do, and we're going to end the for loop, and that's it. Now, we've done that part. Okay, we've done this. I can show you that it works. Did I save? It will help how I saved. I'm going to do Ruby. Oh, no. Ruby. Come on. Fib.rb. How many numbers do you want? 100. and it doesn't put anything out because we didn't say it. So what we are going to do now is, instead of using another for loop, Ruby sort of is all about simplicity, so we can just do print fibs. And in the put, just to put another line on the end, and that's it. You don't have to declare like how many times you to print or do another for loop. That's it. Okay, so I'm gonna do here, I think it's saved. Now do ruby fib.rb. How many numbers do you want? 10. There you go. Suddenly puts them in square brackets and, you know, puts commas in between and all the cool stuff. You don't need to worry about anything. Just say print and just print an array. And it prints the array out completely on its own. Just how cool is that? Now without this puts, you can comment. I'm going to show you how to comment. I think it's that. And it shouldn't complain now. 10. There we go. Now without that puts, you know, it just doesn't do an extra line. But now what? I'm going to show you what puts is basically print line. You know. Here, how you would comment out, you would do just 2 slashes, and you can say this is a comment in Java. It's also a comment in C, you know. Here we're going to do the same thing, we're going to do hash. This is a comment in Ruby. There we go. And I'm going to show you that it does nothing. There we go. How many numbers do you want? 10. Also, what I'm going to show you is there's some important things I need to do. So if I say Ruby.be and there are 100 numbers, 100, prints them out, and you can see 100 numbers is 573, blah, 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 some numbers here. And there. If I do it in Java, I'm going to show you the 100 number in Java. So what do you do? Fib, I think. 100 numbers. Okay, 100 numbers is 3736 or something. That's not right. Okay, if I copy it out, this number and that number, you can see that one is sort of a different number. Okay, so I'm just put it here. Okay, but this is Ruby's. I'm going to do it in 2 parts. Okay, there we go. You can see it's 100 times bigger, and that is because, you know, the long that I used in Java, if you go here, where is it? Long. There we go. That's a 64-bit integer. I told you that you don't need to care about it, but in this case, you do. Because the number is bigger than what it can store. So it just goes to the loop. You can see that it goes to minus here and minus here. Now it's fine until about somewhere when the numbers get really, really big. Wherever that is in here. You know. And then it just completely breaks. And then it goes to minuses and do crazy things. Now you can sort that out by using something called big integer. Okay, and I'm gonna show you the example. Where is it? I want to have it somewhere. I'm gonna do, there we go, fib.b, there we go. You can use big integer, but you need to just import it and we'll do some things. The thing is, if you use big integer, it gets really, really, really slow. Okay, in fact, it gets as slow as Ruby. And all we know, Ruby isn't the fastest language and all that jazz, if you've read. Turns out you haven't. But scripted languages aren't quick. They're meant to be simple to write like that. Okay? But as soon as you get, you know, into big integer, it gets slow and that's a problem. Okay? Now, just give an example. Okay? To calculate 12,000, okay, Fibonacci numbers, it took 33 seconds in Ruby, around there. Now Java, using long, it did like 1 second, but all the results were wrong, up until like from 50 to whatever, to the end. If you use big integer, it slowed down to 33 seconds, so there you go. There is really nothing that can save you once you get into really, really big numbers. Okay, another thing to note, look how tiny this code is. You know, it's less than half the characters. Okay, I've done my my math, and it's like 200 characters here and something like 500 here. So that's less than half. And remember, when you get to bigger and bigger projects, difference will be enormous. Of course, if you need speed, yes, you're going to use Java, or probably going to use C. If you need just raw speed. But there's also this. If you don't need, just want to scribble a program out just quickly, and then we'll optimize it in like C or Java, or whatever the other language you want. You can do that. Just a simple program. Does it work? Does your idea work? Write it out. Oh, it works. And you just do that. So yeah, I showed you pretty much, I think, all the differences here. I can just clear this, and I'm just run the program again. Okay, Ruby fib. No, fib. Come on. RB. Now that's what it does. Calculate 100 numbers, puts them out like instantaneously. Java, and the fib, 100 numbers, does it instantly, but does it wrong. So yeah. So I think that's about it. Thank you for listening. If you have some questions, you can always ask in the comments. You can ask me on Twitter. My Twitter is @PcTechViews. So you can follow me there, I'll be happy. And if you want more videos like this, well, just say it, subscribe or like this video, whatever. So yeah, I think that's all for today, and goodbye.